Priscilla,
Yes.
Lena,
Yes.
Joni,
Yes.
Mandy,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Laura is gone, and Bobby,
Yes.
and my vote is yes, passes 8-0. All right, moving on to reports. 2.1, Student Council Report, Layla Bork.
And we did link the event calendar into the agenda under Layla's comments.
So that's gonna be our running calendar, as we all know from before. We've slowly been adding more events in as we get them. One that we haven't included yet is the boys basketball golf outing on the 17th of August. We have a home that we're sponsoring and we're gonna be sitting out there because we purchased some candy koozies and we're gonna sell those as part of our funding to get more money, and we're gonna also have a donation jar out there. So if any of y'all are golfing, then can't wait to see you out there. And we are hoping that we can use the candy koozies as kind of a base funding type of thing, so we can like sell them if we have like concessions or 50-50. Obviously, we'll have to go through and get that accepted and everything else. We get closer in time to that. And then we are just working towards the lion stand. We have pretty much filled out all the dates that we need help with. So that should be going well and should be smooth by the time the fair comes around next week. And we have also been pushing forward with student council and homecoming and all other such things. And we're gonna push to just because days to keep more student engagement. So like we'll have like random dress up days. So like people can like win prizes like a gift card or something. And we are also moving forward in homecoming where you're getting kind of DJ set up, how we're gonna actually run it set up, and then how the week is gonna look. Each of the officers took their own day, and we're all of them planning like how we want to dress up for that day and what activity we want and everything for that day. And we're all just gonna come together first week of school and like figure that out and get that out to get approved. And I'm actually pretty pumped because I believe we're gonna try to push to have a Just Dance section, like the game Just Dance, and that is one of my favorite games ever, so I can't wait to do that at homecoming. And I believe we're gonna have like a cornhole tournament and some ladders and stuff like that, so it should be enjoyable. And we're just looking farther out to senior citizen dinner, trying to get that planned out, like a day and how we're gonna separate food and just random stuff like that. So otherwise, we're pretty on top of things. We're just pushing forward, trying to stay on task so that we can do more random spontaneous stuff, please. And that's all I have.
All right,
Thank you.
is your steer ready? It looks like they're over
I'm not sure I can
finished.
steer this.
You're not?
No?
Just your brother?
Yep.
Okay.
Mine's a little too stubborn to walk still, so I'll stick with my pigs.
Sounds good. All right, thank you, Layla.
Thanks, Layla. There are no public
All right,
comments.
we will move on to 2.3, Director of Food and Nutrition Service Report.
And Rosie is here tonight.
Hello, if you don't know me, I'm Rosie Doyle. I've been in food services as the director for the last 2 years. And I've been with the AF family for 23 years now, most of which has been in the food service director. I'm here tonight to discuss, she did way better than I'm gonna do, so. I'm here tonight to discuss and receive approval on a couple of items. I would like you all to be aware first that we have, once again, been approved to operate under the community eligibility provision for the next 4 years. The program is federally funded and allows all of our students to receive a free breakfast and lunch no matter their family's economic status. This is a great thing for our families in our district and we hope to sustain it throughout the full 4 years. Based on a cost analysis of food and labor run by the DPI, they are directing us to increase our meal costs. We currently charge $4.90 for lunch and $2.82 for breakfast for adult meals. DPI is requiring we increase the charge, not by much, but to at least $4.91 for lunch, $2.92 for breakfast, and $1.21 for snack, which we don't even sell. I would like to round these numbers up for ease of payment and accounting purposes to $5 for lunch, $3 for breakfast. meals would all be sold as a la carte to adults, because of course students, this would not affect the students unless we chose not to participate in the community eligibility provision for the full 4 years. So
And-
you have that option.
Rosie, I'm just gonna interrupt, and I should have mentioned this. We'll have these as action items later on the agenda. So some of the things that Rosie's talking about right now, you're gonna have to vote on in new business. So I apologize.
No, that's fine. Along with this, currently we charge 35 cents per 8-ounce carton of milk as a la carte. The cost to us fluctuates throughout the year between 33 and 38 cents per carton. I would like to raise the charge to 40 cents per carton to at least break even. Currently, the cost versus charge puts us in the red. It is included with breakfast and lunch for each student and reimbursed with that. So again, this will mostly affect adults, and on occasion, a student that brings a lunch and would like to purchase a milk with the lunch. And that's all I have. Thank you for taking the time to consider this. Do you have any questions for me?
Jeff?
A couple, what is our food service account? What's our balance in that account right now? Do you know?
Our fund balance
Yeah.
going into next year will be at about 325,000.
Which we've been typically, since I've been here, it's fluctuated from about $200,000 to $500,000.
Last year, we were a little over 500,000.
Yes,
This
We have a
year,
plan to spend?
Well, we've used the money to purchase coolers and some of the larger items within our kitchens.
we maintain and that's the fund balance, so remember that that's not like
Right.
savings. And right now, it's projected that we'll still be at about, what did I tell you today, 200,000 over what our revenue is going to be for next year. The difference between our expenses for food service and our revenue. So again, we'll be not quite breaking even, but then again, we don't have any other revenue other than what we get from the state.
So are we at, as far as reimbursement rates, because we do get that grant, are we making money on that? Or are we charging just what our actual costs are? What?
I would have to ask Nikki.
We still are in the red.
Yeah.
We still lose, but we offer free for everyone,
Right.
and so that's why we're in the red.
it does, that program doesn't minimize some administrative costs. You know, I don't need as much of an assistant because of it, so it does help a little bit.
And then we have our summer school program, which again just breaks even. I guess there's a little bit more of a revenue chance there than what our expenses are. But historically, you're going to be running in the red, most likely of food service all the time. And the fact that we don't charge any rates for students, just kind of.
We still have a $200,000 balance, more than likely at the end of the year.
Next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll still be okay with the fund balance, it's not dipping into 110.
Right. Okay.
And this allows us, we've basically built a freezer and replaced another one in the last few years. And when we built that one at the high school, it was ridiculously expensive. I can't remember what the
Right.
exact cost was off the top.
The dishwasher came out.
The dish, right, so we
That
had,
was a significant expense. And we do really well with, Rosie has really increased our catering. And so last year, I think there was about $30,000 of revenue that we used for her catering services as opposed to others. So that means whether we're providing a meal for staff or back to school activities or different things, or she does outside events that if they're using the building, then they can cater her services. So that was additional revenue on top of that.
okay, good.
All right, anything else?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Moving on to teaching and learning report.
And these slides are linked under that item in the agenda.
Great, we have just a few things we want to share with you and of different areas. So we're going to share our planning for back to school and our proposal for a new club with Mayor Caston. So actually, we'll start with Sarah. Come on. So I'm just too lost. So, over here. And if you shake somewhere, so, in this slideshow, hopefully you'll be able to see that Sarah has this proposal for reestablishing this health occupation students of America chapter. And later in the agenda, it is on there for you to approve. And so the bullet points are here in this slide and the next, but I know you want to talk in front of everyone. So did you want to just give, I think what would be interesting to the board is to know like why you want to do this and why you want to create.
So my name is Sarah Gassman. I'm an alumnus here. I graduated in 2014. I was very heavily involved in HOSA as a student. Christina Patron was in charge of it, and she is now in charge of the whole state HOSA program. I had numerous opportunities through the HOSA program. I volunteered. I became a CNA due to Mid-State being partnered with it, but HOSA and health sciences really encouraged me to do that. I had the opportunity to compete at the state level at Chula Vista. I qualified for nationals my junior year, got to go to Nashville, Tennessee, and compete again. My senior year, I qualified, I got first for job seeking skills as an event, so I wrote a cover letter, a resume, practiced interviewing, and then I placed first. We just didn't have enough students qualify for nationals that year, so I wasn't able to go. What else did I say? I've been a CNA for 10 years. I was able to get my CNA license at 16 years old, so I had a career right out of high school. I really enjoyed the opportunities it gave me. I got to shadow people at Mountain View. It really provided me with a lot of opportunities in a very small community, and I just want students in this community to experience what I got to experience.
And most importantly, Sarah is a teacher in our school district.
Oh yeah, I'm a teacher, sorry.
So this to me is such a good win. Sarah wrote a grant and was successful in obtaining that grant to get this program club restarted in our district, and again providing life and career skill opportunities for our students at the high school and middle school level both. So it's really cool.
Is there a certain amount of students that can be involved in it, or is it open to as many as has an interest?
It's open from 6th to 12th grade, and I just need a minimum of 5 in each building, but the limits are, it could be.
They're open.
Yeah.
It's open to anybody though.
Yeah.
Is this after school club, during school club?
It would be after school, is what I'm kind of thinking. I don't know if there's time available during the day at the high school level for it, but it would be after school.
How long do you think?
Like an hour. Not every day, it would be like maybe once a week or once every other week, depending on how many students are involved in it. And then when it comes closer to competitions, if students need help getting prepared for them, it would be whenever they would like.
What are they competing against?
So they're basically competing against other students in certain events. So I did one where it was like CNA. So there's a list of skills that you prepare for, and then you go in a room with a judge and they'll tell you, perform this skill. And then you have to do it, and they'll be watching if you do everything following the rubric. I also did one about like extemporaneous writing. So you just show up and they'll be like, here's your topic, write an essay on it in an hour or two. And then they judge you on that. There's another one about like posters, same concept. Some are team-based, like pretending you're in an EMT situation and you approach a subject just laying there, and how would you walk through the skills with that. I've also judged some of these events before, so I kind of have an idea with that. What other events? There's some that are like more question-based instead of hands-on skills. There's a whole book, I just don't have it prepared for what they all are, but if you want to host a website, tell you all the skills.
And what we really hope is we've had Kevin, how long have we had the healthcare academy? Just 1 year? Okay, so we have a healthcare academy at the high school, and we're hoping where students can work on getting a CNA license. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's kind of separate. that health career academy involves the healthcare certificate that they get, but it's a job shadow, it's human health and disease, and medical terminology classes. HOSA just provides the outlet for those students then to have an activity or to further those skills and further that job exploration. We had a huge program here, probably late 90s and well into the time until Chris Patron left. So.
At least through 2014.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it was a big thing when like Jim Lynn and I all went to high school together. I think there's some really great opportunities. I know a lot of people shadowed. I know we had classmates that like went on and had a health career and then were involved in that. I know Chris as well, and I think she's fantastic. And so I think it was really strong. I think it makes sense given that we're doing our health academy now. I would think there'd be even more kids involved in like exploring though. I mean, I think anything we can do to get kids in a direction to have a potential career path, whether that's CNA or they go on to be a nurse or they be a teacher or whatever, I think we need to do what we can. And at this point, it's pretty minimal cost and she got a grant for it. So
Do you have a feel at all for how many would be interested in it, how many students?
I have a list of students who indicated on Zello, which is like a career interest survey, that they're interested in a health career field. I've also had a couple students reach out to Christina Patron asking her if they could restart it. So I don't have an exact
A dozen,
number,
half a dozen, when you just, yes, I mean, you know.
I would say high school, the list I have is about a dozen. Middle school, I'm not quite sure yet.
Thank you.
The grant funds were $1,000 for both the middle school and the high school. Each received
Okay.
$1,000.
Have you been in contact with Chris Patron? Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, because she would help with any questions or support that our school needed. She's reached out to me a number of times asking if we knew anybody or why it wasn't started yet.
So, yeah, I talked to her right then. Yeah, I talked to her right then of the school year. We talked on the phone and I had lunch with her in June.
Okay.
It's very exciting. How will you engage these children?
That's a good question. Host is mostly student-led, so I'll just be there to like provide guidance at the meetings. But if they want to do a community service event of like taking people's vitals, like a community event, then I would be there to host it. Like, all right, like what day are you guys thinking of, the times, and then we make posters and stuff to promote it. It's basically what they would like. So like they want to do a walkathon as a possible or like fundraiser. I don't even know what other things. Guest speakers. I have some connections at Gunderson already who have told me they'd come volunteer to speak about careers. It's just, I don't know for sure how to make it fun or engaging, but I know Mrs. Patron will help me, and then they place a lot of emphasis on it's student-led.
It's a start, and we've got some grant funding to do it, and it's good for kids.
I think outside of just somebody going into the career aspect, it's just really good to know how to take care of somebody if somebody has an incident, if it be CPR or whatever it might be, or a choking incident. You know, just having that kind of knowledge is something you carry with you all through your life. So I love this.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, each of the three building principals are going to tell you what's new in their buildings this year. So not a rundown of everything we're doing to start off the year, but what's new. And so I'm sharing just what's new district-wide. So we have 2 reading goals, which I believe Tom has already shared with you, but I'm sharing them again because it's such a large part of the work that we're doing. And they're listed on this slide. To be clear, these are reading goals that we're focusing on 4K through grade 12. So 4K looks a little bit different. We don't expect them to be reading when they come on 4K, but we will be focusing our work in the district on these 2 goals in everything we do. And give some examples later in the year of what that looks like in a math classroom, what that looks like in a science classroom. So it doesn't mean we're letting go of anything that's important in the district, but our focus, this will care. With that, we've also developed a walkthrough document, which is basically all of the administrators, including all the district office administrators, the 4 of us, are doing walkthroughs based on what we're looking for in solid reading practices in the classrooms. So
every teacher will have somebody walking through, and the principal is one of us, and looking for these things, not as a gotcha, but to see like, what's going on? What do people still need support with? How do we help them improve their practice around trying to attain these goals? Frankly, we're trying to like move the needle faster and higher than we have. And so we're trying to really narrow down our focus and really try to have everyone on the same page with these goals. So it's a change, but we think that people, what we've seen so far is people are excited about it. So we'll see. Not everyone will be excited, I'm sure. But. And then the other change is we've done a little bit of a shift from our intervention model to have some of our interventionists become instructional coaches. Their focus will primarily also be on literacy and strong relational practices in the classroom. So we've done a little bit of shifting of people within the district for positions, not by adding, but by shifting in their schedules. So we now will have 2.5 or 2 point something people coaching at the middle school, and 2 and a little bit more at the high school, and 4 at the elementary. So really focusing, and they're not full-time in those roles. Some are classroom teachers, some are interventionists and coaches. There's a variety, but a very strong push on coaching and doing a lot of training with them as well. So more to come on that, but those are all new things district-wide.
For the elementary school, Heather and I had come to you a while ago to talk about our Ready, Set, Go days. Back what the kindergarten and 4K classrooms did, where they met one-on-one with teachers, and this year we are gonna do that with the entire building. So the pictures you see here, Heather and I have talked about a way to get families a little more engaged in this and probably encourage some of them to come. We've created kind of a learning adventure passport that for every place that they go, they'll get a sticker and then they'll get their names in, and we're looking at a goodie bag or something just to encourage them and thank them for coming. We have the separate seminars on, if you want to learn a little bit more about reading, math, kind of attendance, and then age-appropriate development and assessment. So there's different 20-minute options that they could come and get a little bit more information about what we're doing in the school and how to better support their child in all of those areas. Every grade level worked on a kind of a slideshow that we wanted all grades to be talking about the same information. Although we know what's going to be talked about at 4K may look a little different than 4th grade, but we gave them, we want you to include all of this, and then they'll personalize it for themselves. They'll add their name to it, students' names, whatever. So these are all of the things that we expect them when they're meeting with families to go over and talk about, things that go on in the school, things that go on in their room, everything else that people would want to know about. So I just linked a sample. Theirs is a lot prettier and a little more decorative and colorful. This is just kind of a basic that we wanted them to add. The other piece that we are adding besides the Ready, Set, Go days is we've talked a lot about the personal reading plans, the PRPs. We've added the expectation of explicit small group instruction. So we've looked at data and we know that teachers need to be meeting and having some targeted instruction with certain students, certain groups of kids based on data and based on needs. So part of what Heather was telling you regarding the walkthroughs deals a little bit with small groups. Are they doing small groups? Are they not doing small groups? What does that look like? So we are also doing that. All grade levels need to have small group instruction. The last new thing that we are doing at the elementary school, which the middle school is done in high school, we are doing some co-teaching with special ed teachers. So looking at data and the needs, we realized that some of what we're doing in the core is not working, and we want to get some more support, not only for our students with IEPs, but also for the students that don't. So we have 2 4th grade classrooms that'll be co-taught this year. So a regular ed teacher and a special ed teacher. And we also have a 3rd grade classroom this year that'll be co-taught with the regular ed and the special ed. Again, just hoping to increase some of that support from those students, whether they're in the gray area, they're struggling, we're not gonna ignore those that are already above, because they will also get some incidental benefits from this. But really trying to bump some of those kids up and hit with that reading focus as well. Any questions on?
How were the classrooms selected that have the co-teachers? Is there a special need in that? Or more of a need?
Some of it was their previous experience. Some of it was their desire to have a co-teacher, because it's pretty challenging, because you are working very closely with that person. You know, some call it a marriage within the classroom. So just making sure that they'd have a good relationship already that was built, and their interests,
So
some of their
between
skills.
the teacher and the
Yeah,
co-teacher.
yeah. And Crystal has said,
Training's coming up, right?
I gotta say, Crystal, we have their training the 19th, right, Crystal? Yeah. So they'll be working together there. They're getting from Donica Goodwin at CSIS coming in to work with them.
Yeah, I think the other thing that we also looked at is those personalized reading plans and the number of students who have both things happening, and how do we better support those students in the room and increase that small group instruction. It can be done more easily if we have a co-teacher in the classroom.
How many students are in the classroom, each one?
Well, fourth grade, there are about 23 in each room. Third grade's about 20, 21. They're maybe a little on the heavy end with students with an IEP, but that's, again, we want to get them support, and we want to do more of, we were doing a lot of pull-out with them. We're hoping if we keep them in and kind of work with others and get that incidental benefit for those students.
So if it worked out well, would you consider wanting to do more than next year? Oh, okay.
That is the plan, to try to work through this in a pilot so that we can see what works well and what doesn't. And kind of get those kinks worked out with some of our more veteran teachers and then continue to move down. We still will have students that we need to pull out services for, but hopefully keeping the kids in the classroom will allow them that exposure to gen ed a little more as well.
And we've been co-teaching at the other grade levels, middle school and high school, for a while, correct?
Middle school expanded this year, high school has been doing it for some time.
Okay.
High school has been doing it for a number of years. We did it really heavy this last year. We've dabbled with it before. It hasn't always gone well, so we've learned from our mistakes. I feel like we have a really good plan this year. I know the high school's done it for a number of years.
In English and math specifically, some science.
Nice.
A lot of the success we see will be in the planning process for our teachers, so that they can plan together and think about how they're delivering that instruction with that specialist in the room as well.
Any other questions for me?
No, thanks. Thank you.
All right, middle school. So what's new is, like, first one is that implementational reading strategies for key comprehension routines. We embarked on that at the middle school and high school last year, all year long. It was a really good program all across the board. It was a lot, so it was a lot of really great learning. A couple things that we will be honing in on are called top-down topic webs. Think of like word webs, loosely thought, and then just how we explain concepts in a visual format or a graphic organizer. And the other one is 2-column notes. It's a very specific way, a lot of research backing on how to take notes to help kids be able to remember the concepts. So the other pieces that I listed there is we met as a BLT today, and we talked about some of our goals. So one of our conversations was as a measurable goal, we are using that goal that Heather presented just a few minutes ago of that increase in achievement as a district goal. So that's our number, and what we're going to work on is some personal practice goals. And I thought these were really great. This is the team that developed these. And the conversation stemmed around if they, as adults, improve their practice in certain areas, then we will have better outcomes for kids. So the two big pieces that we identified school conditions goal and an achievement goal over here. One is about establishing more positive culture and connecting with families and being intentional about it, at least 5 times a month. For some of our teachers, that's easy peasy. But there's some that we just are going to help set them up for success with a number of things. What did we call it today? Affirmation station. That was really neat. We're just like in our lounge will be area with cards and crayons and postcards, even maybe a computer that if they didn't bring a computer down could send a seesaw message, do a thank you note home to the kids, and some of those real small things. And on top of that, also, we're gonna just kind of log and keep track and support each other on how to contact those parents, phone calls, and try to really build that positivity. The other part is 2 years ago, we embarked on this micro PD, as we called it. Instead of doing like a lot of all staff meetings, we did little short bursts of 15 to 20 minutes of learning every Wednesday during that collaboration time. We found a good impact in that 2 years ago. Last year, we had our time with the key comprehension routine. We wanted to get back. So our plan this year was about how do we as a staff model these high impact strategies and high impact literacy strategies. High impact teaching and literacy strategies are often very much one and the same and very synonymous. So, and then we will work together as a team on how they are going to follow up with each other in their PLCs and in their collaborative teams as an accountability measure for all of them, so that we continue to layer in these impactful strategies. So those are two big goals that I thought were important to know. And a testament to our staff on noticing that we just need to do certain things differently in order to reach the goals that we set for the kids. The last one is the STARI. We talked about it a couple of years ago. Dr. Wormuth really just sent an email that came from DPI to Michelle Johnson and I back 2022, and said he got this information that was about this strategic reading initiative, that we could be part of this study and we can get all these things. We're like, sure, it sounds great. So we were in what's called a control group these last 2 years. So what happens is, to be part of that, all we did is an extra screener in reading skills for any student that did not meet proficiency on the forward exam. So we kept that, data. They get some of that data. It's all anonymous. But the payoff now becomes this year, where we get this what's called STARI, Strategic Adolescent Reading Initiative. This is a reading intervention program. Reading intervention program that comes from lots of acronyms. The SERP Institute, the Scientific Educational Research Partnership, which is a nonprofit organization out of Washington, D.C. that has Harvard, Yale, some really big name universities, as well as other educational think tanks that are behind it. It is a research and evidence-based reading intervention for targeting middle school kids. So we've got literally had to create not create a room, but use another room to house all the materials. We got all these materials and all the PD for our staff to train it completely free. So we're talking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars of materials and PD that is all free. So the research nationwide on this specific intervention shows 2 grade levels of improvement in reading skills in a course of a year. And that's what they advertise, and they have the research to back it up. So we'll see, right? But we're really excited about that because we think it's going to be a strong addition to our intervention groupings. And the content is very appropriate for and engaging for middle level children. So we're really excited about that to get started. And we've got a number of staff that have been doing some online modules all summer to try to get prepared for that. So that'll be a huge, hopefully an impactful piece of trying to reach those literacy goals. Questions?
Now, STARI.
STARI with an I, and then we have our STAR.
It was STAR, now it's STARI.
Right, yep.
No, they're completely separate things.
Yes, so I understand. Yeah, two different things. When they're working on reading skills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a new way of teaching them to have them read better, or is it a topic situation where the topic maybe is more lucrative to what they would want to read? I mean, what makes it successful?
Good question. Yes, all of the above. So first of all, the topics are very engaging. Kids, basketball and sometimes sports and some historical. There's a lot of historical context, like Martin Luther King. So there's a lot of things that interest kids. But the other part of it is they really base it on, and the other part of that is it's all paper materials. There's no online pieces to it. So that's been a big plus, and it is a little bit different. It talks about decoding, how we decode the words when we don't understand them. There's a lot of partner reads, so that they tell that as being a big part of it, where we have to read out loud to build that fluency. So rather than me reading out loud to the teacher or the class, I'm in a small group with a partner, and we're reading to each other. So they really identify that as being a solid piece, and they break it down really step by step on how to, like help them decode those words. There is some differences in the levels so that they're able to access that material at some different levels and grow in there. So, I don't think it's completely new, but the way they put some of those pieces together and those partner readings is where they identify some of the big increases. Yeah, good question.
So are all the grade levels at the middle school doing that?
Another good question is to specify that. It's only 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That's what the grade levels that they have it for is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They have a 9th grade component that, of course, I ask for every series. They do it in series. I ask for every series so that we have it. We're going to trial that a little bit with the 8th grade kids that are maybe in that middle or upper level, just to see if it can help them grow as well and increase their engagement. And then we have some of those materials if we decide to kind of have the 9th grade try it, because I know they're looking at some of those programs they use to maybe phasing out. We're always looking for something good to engage the kids. Question?
I don't know if you could, but when did they start this program? Was this recently started, or is this a program that's been around for a while?
Well, around for a while, don't quote me on this, I'm gonna say maybe 10 years.
Okay.
One of the states, or a couple of the states that they identify as having a lot of impact, one of them was Mississippi. So Mississippi for many years was one of the lowest reading states in the United States. And there was a number of years ago that we were bringing the science of reading back, and they changed everything. Well, this is one of the big strategies, one of the big programs that they utilized, was the STAR initiative, so that they've identified that in Mississippi as being one of the states. Louisiana, I think, is another one as well as Illinois. So there's a number of states across the country that have some pretty solid examples of how it's increased their reading.
All right.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Chris.
And at the high school, just to continue with what Chris mentioned about the reading strategies and literacy strategies, we're implementing those as well. And the one nice thing about it is 5, maybe 4 through 12th grade will be using the same language, same skills, so that students aren't constantly challenged with, okay, what are they trying to teach me now? They're going to have the same language. They're going to be using the same type of note-taking strategies and the same type of top-down web. So a lot of our time in the August in-service will be allowing teachers to spend some time to put that into place and adopt that into their lessons, which they were working on last year as well. One minor change, but based on the calendar that was adopted for next year, our start times are we're gonna start a little earlier at the high school, 7:50. We have been at 8 o'clock until about 3:27 or 3:30. We're gonna start at 7:50. Kids' buses are at our high school at 7:30, dropping kids off. So instead of having them sit for a half an hour, they have 20 minutes to get their breakfast, and then they'll go to advisory in the morning. We'll be done at 3:25, which is a couple minutes earlier. Buses aren't changing with this. The bus schedules stay the same based on the other schools' needs as well. But the research says that high schoolers should be starting school later. So if that was in your mind, the reason we're doing this, our kids are on the buses already and at school at 7:30. So we can't change that unless our whole district changes this. It makes it more efficient. And also our staff are actually student contact days were too short from previous years to make it fit where it is, the one you approved. So that's why we're adding 8 minutes per day from previous years to account for that minutes to meet the DPI state requirement. Still have a couple of snow days built in, so we'll be fine on that end as well. And then similar to the middle school, but without the STAR part of it, we are modifying what we're doing in our reading intervention. We've tried ILIT, which we purchased, and it's a pretty expensive program. We've used it for 2 years. We haven't seen it move the needle. Like Heather said, we wanted to move faster and higher. So we have to keep trying different things, and ILIT wasn't it. So our interventionist have worked with Heather this summer to determine what we can use with our kids. High school's a challenge because most of the interventions go through 8th grade. It's nice to hear that STAR has a 9th grade component, but we're trying to find something that's engaging, and some of the things that we pick, like ILIT, it's just not engaging our high school kids. And we have good teachers doing it and doing it to fidelity, so I trust that if we need to move, we need to do it. If they say we need to do it, we need to. And then intervention staff, because of those shifts in interventionists and coaching, Kayla Kowaleski, one of our English teachers, will be taking on some more intervention role this year than, and she hasn't done that in the past, so she'll be having pull-out intervention for students in reading. And we'll continue with our math intervention and green double time like we have been. Any questions for Lex?
So do you guys know what reading program you're going with?
They're going to pick a few different things, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at a variety of things, but really what we found the most beneficial is our internally created models that we're using. They're, like Kevin was saying, there's almost nothing for intervention for high school that's out there, and what is out there is completely not engaging what we've found. So we've asked our colleagues, we work with CISA 5, and at this point what we've been doing is having a couple of our very strong ELA teachers created from within based on the science of reading for kids at this level. So as we continue to look, we're self-creating.
And you can imagine, like, if a student's reading at a 5th grade level and they're in high school, the 5th grade materials aren't going to be engaging to them, so it's a challenge because then they say, no, this is not for me, it's not what I want to read or how I want to read, so it's challenging for sure. And we have moved the needle, it's just not moving fast enough for the investment that we're putting in for Island.
Did you say that STAR would only go through 9th grade?
Yeah, Chris.
Then what will happen after that? You know, just kind of fall off the cliff, or will
That's kind of how the interventions work right now, they only go through 8th grade.
Can you extend it some way, or?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a part of our self-creation that we're doing, like based on the data that we have and what we see the kids being engaged in, but it is really challenging, you know, to find something that works for them, definitely.
And how long will we be using the STAR materials? How long is the research?
Right now it's only through 8th grade, so we're still,
But I
we
mean,
haven't
like,
gotten to 9th grade.
For a year, 2 years, 5 years?
It kind of the data.
Well, I mean, we'll use them as long as there's a need to use them, right? So the idea is that they should grow 2 grade levels in a year, and if that holds true, you're still gonna have some kids that need to have that intervention, but you'll have a number of kids that will graduate out, right? So in theory, right, we hope like that it'll only be a few years and then we just won't need to do it. But otherwise, you know, as those kids kind of progress up, some of this could trickle up to the 9th grade. It doesn't have to be 9th grade either, right? We could look and see and say, you know what, there's 10th graders that are still that far behind. They could use the 9th grade materials. They don't specify them as actual grade levels. They go series. You can do it a couple different ways. It's a lot easier to just do it linearly, if that's the right word, in that series to plan. But you know, there's some options. But again, right, that's just middle school. That's doing the STARI. And then after this year, we'll see how things go with those series 4, it's called, and then certainly can see if that's something that the high school wants to try to utilize.
I think, you know, in conjunction with what we're doing at the 3 levels that they each talked about that's different in their schools for next year, I think the biggest work that we're doing to try to make change is to focus on those same goals and the science of reading through the literacy training that they had this past year, and really now implement that training because that hasn't been done in the past. So these other pieces are intervention, but we need to really change what's happening in the core of the classroom.
Joan?
I just think that idea is self-creating. If the material out there isn't engaging to the students, they're not gonna do their best. So if you self-create, bring the interest to them.
We're currently looking for publishers, so to buy our work, if you would like to invest, just let us know.
Steve?
Is there any way, or is there anything built into the system to set up milestones so you can gauge through the year what's happening? Are they meeting goals? Are they progressing?
We use that
so we don't get surprised at the end of the year.
We use that STAR test. We do a winter test, which is the benchmark to make sure they're making gains, and that's what our coaches and teachers use as the data to see if what they're doing is working and if they're making that expected growth. As we said in the last month in our data presentation with Chris and I, we see the growth really well at the winter. It's getting them to really take that spring one really seriously and have that culture where they know they need to do it, because we see a drop off then. So our winter one has shown good results. We just need to see it throughout.
So we do the STAR test 3 times a year. And we start, not to be confused with STARI, which is an intervention. We do the STAR assessment 3 times a year. And what grade do we start that in? Young?
Star?
Yeah.
Yeah, we started kindergarten.
Yeah. So we're taking the same, basically that same assessment from kindergarten through 12th, 11th, 12th grade.
Plus, we have other assessments we're doing, the elementary were required because of Act 20 to use, it's called Ames Web, but it specifically assesses those areas in the science of reading, and that's 4K through 3rd, but we do it through 4th.
How long ago did we go to STAR though?
The kindergarten through 12 we're at year 2 of that.
Of STAR.
Of STAR. And then 4 years ago?
Well, this will be our 3rd year for STAR.
3rd year, and then 5th year for the high school.
So high school was on STAR and then elementary
And middle school.
switched to it. So the whole district's on the same test?
Yes. 3 times a year.
So last year, if I remember correctly, we didn't meet our goal. Things happen, that type of thing. Are these tests correlated to help with that?
And the goals that we set internally, is that the ones that you presented last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
we from what I saw, we didn't hit
the 5%. Our goal was 5%.
I'm just saying, how do we make sure that the tests we're taking through the year are going to get us to the right spot at the end?
And the test just started the measurement. It's the intervention that is the process, and that's why we're getting, if we're kind of sunsetting eyelid, the one we were using, because we weren't meeting goals, we weren't moving the needle as fast as we wanted. So that's how we measure if what we're doing is correct.
And at different levels and different grade levels, we did meet our goals, and so then it's looking at where did we, why is that, when we're not, kind of what Kevin's saying, we have to make changes.
I'm just trying to figure out how to give as much support where you need it and make sure we're tracking it, so when we get to the end, we get to where we want to, I'll help you get to where you want to get to.
And the one goal that we do meet is the growth goal, and that's where kids are making a year's or more worth of growth every year on the whole, not kid by kid. So our growth goal that Heather showed about every student making growth this year, it's the big one. We're going to make sure that's what we want to see on the STAR test.
Yeah, as you all know, as a whole, our growth as a district has been very good. It's just that our achievement is so low that even with the growth that we have, it's not moving the achievement at this level that we want it to or need it to. That makes sense. So now we're trying to focus more on achievement as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
See none.
Thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
All right, 2.5, Director of Student Services report.
And every year, we have to provide a seclusion and restraint report, and Crystal has information that's linked in your agenda.
The report in front of you gives the details for this last school year of all the students that could have been secluded or restrained during the school year. One thing I want to point out again this year, we will have our staff trained in the non-crisis intervention de-escalation. So our key staff, mostly our staff that have radios in our schools that will respond if the student is escalated, are trained in the entire process. And then we add other staff as well, like paraprofessionals trained in that de-escalation when kids start to escalate or become upset at school. So we will do that again this year. What I can share with you is during this last school year, we had 3 total incidents that students were restrained. We had 0 incidents of seclusion this last school year. Of those 3 incidents, it involved 2 students in our district. 2 of those incidents were law enforcement related. So anytime a law enforcement officer needs to restrain a student, put hands on a student in any fashion, it becomes a school-related report if it happens within the school building. So it is 1 student that had 2 incidents with a law enforcement officer happening at school. So we were able to respond that way. Behind here, you can also see our process that we have attached to this document, so you can see that there's a breakdown in the law and how we respond for students as well. So the principal of the building will file a seclusion and restraint report, which is also attached. It comes over to our office. We ensure that the parent has been notified that this happened, and then we are also working to come up with a plan so that we don't have students that are escalated to that level. We don't want to put hands on students. We want to continue with those positive reinforcements in our school setting. And then as well as students that have special education services, if it happens 2 times, we automatically hold an IEP meeting to see if there's something we can add to the student's IEP to again ensure that we are doing what we need to do for the student to de-escalate them and not have hands on students. You can also see in your packet the comparables from previous years in our district. The last couple of years, we've been able to reduce those numbers of students that have been restrained in our district. Do you have any questions for me?
When you have an incident, as I understand it, the classroom is cleared.
There are times that the classroom may be cleared if the student remains in the classroom. Sometimes students may leave the classroom and be in the hallway, or leave the classroom and be in an office when something may transpire outside of the school building as well.
I was just concerned about if the classroom is cleared, what kind of hours are we losing in learning time?
And that does happen on occasion where we have to clear a classroom if we can't keep students safe in that room. But also incidents happen outside of the classroom as well.
Okay. And there aren't that many, it's going the right direction, so.
Any other questions?
How quickly are the parents notified, or when would the parents be notified?
Parents are notified right after the event occurs and what had transpired. So typically the building principal is going to make contact if that student has special education services. The case manager may be the one that has a relationship with the family to say, you know, student X struggled today, here's what the escalation, how the escalation occurred, this is how we had to respond. As well as our administrative staff are trained in non-restrictive as well. So if a student were to put their hands on you, you were trained in how to get yourself away safely without having to put that student in hold as well, because typically they're the ones responding in those situations.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
All right, Board of Education reports. Jeff?
We had CISA 5 last week, nothing significant to report. I would assume we'll have more at the next meeting. August is pretty slow.
Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we will move on. District Administrator report.
A couple of things. We are still negotiating with Mr. Cobison about the rent of our bus facility, and we'll keep you updated on how that progresses or doesn't progress. If you are interested in the regional WASB regional meeting, it is October 7th in Wisconsin Dells at Trapper's Turn. It's historically been there. It's been there for at least the last 6 years. I would encourage board members to attend that. There's usually a training ahead of time that's topical, but in the main event, they a nice dinner. They talk about WASB goals and activities for the year, and generally provide a pretty comprehensive legislative update. So if you are interested in attending that, please contact Nicole. And again, that's October 7th. And this is really good news for our school district. We were named as a Award of Excellence High School by the WIAA. The award promotes and recognizes the efforts and achievements of schools in the areas of sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, leadership, character, and administrative accomplishment. It's been a while since our district has been on this list. There's about 35 high schools identified on this list, and there's 460, I believe, plus high schools in the state of Wisconsin. So this is a very nice recognition for our students, our student athletes, Mr. Moore, and Mr. Storman, and Mr. Grosha. So wanted you to be aware of that.
We have these flags at the high school, right? That say Award of Excellence.
We have
Spirit of Excellence is,
Spirit of-
that's the student council.
Yeah.
Okay, so different. Okay.
This is this was for last school year, and again, I think we're the only district in our athletic conference that's recognized, and it's been a while. I can't tell you the last time that we were recognized. It's been at least 6 years since that happened, so.
We get something that gets put up on the wall or something to show that.
I only have this document. I don't know if we get that.
Actually, this is our first publicizing on it.
So I can't answer that.
Yeah, put it on a memo.
I
We'll have to make our own. So that's it. Anything else? All right, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, do I have a consideration to go into closed session? Consideration to go into closed session? Consideration to go into closed session? See none? We will move on. Do I have a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Is that you, Mandy?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Got a motion by Jeff, second by Mandy to approve the consent agenda. We have the bills, we have meeting minutes.
We have a couple donations.
We have a couple gifts, yep.
The bus.
I didn't click that one.
And more have come in, so we appreciate the community and organizations in the area that are helping with our Stuff the Bus effort. It's very it's an impressive process, so.
Well, it's not letting me open the gifts, so I can't say.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have Adams Columbia Electric Cooperative and Trinity Lutheran Church have both made donations of items for Stuff the Bus formally, and we'll have more to come.
Oh, now it finally loaded. There we go. Just was thinking really hard. All right. So we got the bills. We have meeting minutes from our July 14th meeting, regular board meeting, special meeting, the Path Forward meeting on June 9th, special board meeting, board retreat on June 30th, special board meeting, board retreat on July 7th, and a Path Forward meeting on July 18th. There's no retirements, no resignations. We have staff transfers, staff of Zach Price, and staff transfer by Kyle Wilkie. We have a hiring recommendation of Mackenzie Wiesner, 7th grade social study, general teacher, and Jacob Heinrich, school counselor. And we have a Washington DC overnight trip.
And Julie Wysocki is here, middle school teacher, if you have any questions, or if she'd like to talk just briefly about the trip.
I'm starting my 30th year here.
Thank you, that's a great thing.
I have never had the opportunity to do this. I taught 5th grade social studies for about 13 years. And then I moved to the middle school and I've been a reading teacher up until last year. I'm still a reading teacher, but I now additionally teach social studies as well. And I've been fortunate enough that in 5th grade and 8th grade I did US history. So we start in 8th grade with the Civil War and we move on into World War I and World War II and so on. But I had a gentleman reach out to me this past school year from a company called Grand Classroom. I believe he's based out of Virginia, but he happened to be in Wisconsin, and he was looking to try to recruit some schools to go to Washington, DC through their program. And so he asked if he could come and talk to me, and I've always been intrigued and wanted to do something like that, so I said, sure, please come and talk to me. I was able to ask him questions. He was able to give me information. And it sounded like a really great thing. And knowing the situation of a lot of our students, a lot of them may never have an opportunity like this. So I think it would be an amazing opportunity for them to get to go. Unfortunately, we can't go this coming school year. Mr. Carlos is taking the band to Nashville, so we have to wait till the following year. So I don't have an exact date for you. It would be the Thursday after we get out of school. So currently, it's roughly set up for June 11th of 2027. It That would be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The bus company would come here, we would bus the kids to the airport. More than likely, we would fly out of Chicago, but all that is a little bit up in the air when we get a little closer and we have flight information. The bus would come here, pick us up, take us to the airport. We would fly to Washington DC. The Grand Classroom Company would pick us up there, the bus. We would have our own personal tour guide. This person would not leave us at any time we are there for those 4 days. And we're gonna jam pack them with a lot of places to go during those 4 days. Just off the top of my head, we're gonna do the Civil War battlefields, the Civil War Museum, the Washington Monument, the Arlington National Cemetery, the Holocaust Museum. So there's a lot of history, a lot of things that the kids learn about that they would actually be able to see firsthand. The company's tour guide is with us through all of this. I get to pick like the exact places we want to go. They lay out the itinerary for us, and then it's jam-packed from the time we go until the time we come home. Like the kids literally are going to crash on the way home because they're going to be exhausted. But it's only 4 days, but it's 4 busy days. Through the company, the kids would have to, parents would have to sign a behavior contract. If the kids do not abide by that, they will be flown home at the parents' expense. All of this will be laid out to the parents in the beginning. I would like to give the opportunity to the current 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students. So I would put it out as an informational meeting so that parents could come and hear about it. We're looking at roughly $2,300 per student for them to go. In all of my experience in the last 30 years, I am the auxiliary president at the fire department. My job there is fundraising and PR. So I have already some fundraisers that I am interested in setting up for the kids to give them the opportunity to raise as much money as they can. Everything will be done as far as registering through the company, all online, so parents can sign them up and then they can give out that link to other people who can donate. Friends, family can make donations in addition to the fundraisers. And they'll get out of it what they put into it, right? If they want to participate in the fundraisers, I want to offer them for them so they can have the opportunity to earn as much money as possible. But there probably will be some commitment from family that they would have to pay for whatever's left, because I don't know that I can raise with the kids $2,300 per student. But with them having this school year and next school year to raise that money, hopefully it wouldn't be as financially draining to families. I would like as many people as can to go. Through this company, we would not be taking any parent chaperones. The chaperones have to be all staff members. For every 10 students that sign up and go, you get a free staff member. So the other staff members would be an expense to them too, if they're willing to come along with us. I already have a lot of teachers who want to go, so I don't think that would be a problem. And then, again, I will have parent meetings throughout. I know the kids who are in 8th grade this year, next year they would be freshmen, so they wouldn't be at the middle school. Who knows, I might be at high school, I don't know, but they will still be welcome to come back and participate in the fundraisers that we do next year as well. So hopefully the company that we're going through handles all of the insurance. So it's not on school insurance, it is on the company. I have talked with Chris a little bit too, because like if I do a fundraiser, obviously we want to have some meetings with the kids at school. And if there's something that needs to be delivered, it would probably be delivered to the school for family pickup and such. So there's a little bit of involvement through the school, but for the most part, I would like to think that it's not going to cost the school anything. It's not going to be on the school's insurance. And this the beginning, right? I'll know more as we go. But once DeForest Middle School is proposing the same thing to their school board tonight. So both the DeForest coordinator and I have to reach back out to John at Grand Classroom tomorrow and let him know if we were approved. And then we'll schedule our first parent meeting. And then John will Zoom in with us at that time, so he'd be able to answer questions with parents too. Because I'm new to this, so I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I'm certainly willing to work with him to get parents whatever questions they have answered. Do you have any questions?
I think it's a wonderful idea, I just love it. And I would wish or hope that if a student couldn't raise the money, that we could give them some kind of help so they could attend. I don't know if there's any kind of monies like that we could offer.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, certainly we'd have to see. And I would think it would be, if somebody really, really expressed some kind of interest, that there was, I could try to find a way to work with them. And I'm learning, like I teach driver's ed for Rios, it's an independent company, but I am learning, I've looked into some grants and things that are out there for us to get for kids. So maybe there would be something we could look for. I just know we wouldn't be able to fund everybody, obviously, so we would need a big commitment on their part to be able to raise that money.
Yeah, Washington DC was really cool when I went. All the memorials are just about in the same place, so you can walk to them. Korean one was my favorite one.
So we have, the past couple of years, we've read the novel Chasing Lincoln's Killer in 8th grade, which covers the whole assassination of Abraham Lincoln and then the chase of John Wilkes Booth and such. So, Ford's Theater is one of the places we would get to see. And obviously we've been talking or will be talking about Abraham Lincoln a lot for them to be able to connect some of these things. So I'm hoping they can actually make physical connections with what they're studying. I'm a lot older than they are, and I've never been to these places either, so it'd be neat after teaching it all these years to see it.
Jeff?
Will they also have interactions like with our legislators and whatnot? I know it's been more than a few years in high school. Close-Up Foundation has the same trip or had. I would assume they still do. We got the opportunity to everything from Supreme Court justices to senators to representatives to, it was quite comprehensive and very busy from morning until night. And it's something I still remember. It's obviously a great thing to go to Washington, D.C.
Right.
Is that something that's part of that, or are you just going to historical sites?
To my knowledge, right now, we have not discussed any of that at all. I don't even know if that's an option. I certainly can ask the question and look into it, but with it being only 4 days and so many things that we want to see, we picked, myself and John went through options and picked a lot of the historical things that we talk about in class for them to actually go and see.
Okay.
They do, Grand Classroom does offer other trips additionally too. Like they offer us a national park trip where you can go to different national parks, but obviously I'm the social studies teacher and I like the historical aspect of it, so I went that route as well. But.
Okay.
Priscilla, you had?
Oh, Grand Classroom, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's a great opportunity. Jeff's daughter and my son and nephew went last summer just through the 4-H on a crazy bus trip out there, but they seen so much stuff.
But they didn't go to Washington, D.C., which is totally ball game.
Yep. But.
Well, and the opportunity to fly alone.
Right.
It's not like we're not taking a bus home.
Right.
We're actually gonna put them on an airplane and fly and.
I think it was the stories of the bus though.
Once they pay the $2,300, the only money that they would need to bring is for souvenirs. Everything will be paid for, like the bus, the hotel, their meals, their admission to any of the museums and such. And John said to me, he said, I just want to caution you, having never done this, that you're gonna have to be sure they understand they can't spend all their souvenir money in the airport before they get there. Good point.
Julie, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
Any more discussion, Board? Jeff?
Question, so back to staffing, where are we at to start the school year? How many open positions?
Right now, I believe we have one middle school special education position and one elementary music position that's unfilled. And we're working on alternative plans for both at this point in time. The elementary music position, I think I may have talked about, it's been particularly challenging, and there aren't music teachers available right now. They just don't exist.
Anything else? All right, we will vote. We will start this with Priscilla. Lena?
Yes.
Joni?
Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve? And my vote is yes. 9-0. All right, next up is policy, and I will take care of 5.1, policy committee meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
I got a second by Laura. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will start this vote with Lena.
Yes.
Joni?
Yes. Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve? Priscilla? And my vote is yes, passes 9-0. All right, I will turn 5.2 over to you, Mandy.
Yep, so 5.2 is just technical changes, so we actually don't need to approve these, but we do review them. If you want to, click on the links, obviously it shows you what the changes are, but they're pretty minor. They're like wording or punctuation or just,
No substantial changes.
they don't change the content of the policies, so it's kind of more for information. But we did review those, have a little discussion, and moved on. So 5.3, these are the policy updates. If everyone recalls, we work with Neola, which is a company that really, their job is to peruse all the federal and state legislation, case law, and then make recommendations to policy changes. Sometimes we have a choice as a district to add some things or, choose from an A, B, and C type of thing. Other times we really don't have a choice, and it's basically statutory that we need to change our policies. So I don't know if we don't need to do them all separately, do we? Or
No. And I just want the policy committee and full board to know that in the first policy that's listed, we had a long conversation about virtual meetings.
Correct.
Did add the sentence about virtual participation in meetings that states the board president has the authority to allow a board member to attend a meeting virtually under extenuating circumstances.
I think the discussion that we had was that we have a preference for in-person. We feel like it's better engagement, but obviously there's certain circumstances where, given the fact that we have the technology, it would be great if we can. I do think that depending on how technology in the future goes, this is a policy that as a committee and as a full board, we might want to revisit on a more regular basis just to keep up with the times. But I don't know if anyone else has anything to add.
I think the main thing was brought up that, you never know with health situations, somebody may have to have a surgery laid up at their home. That they should at least have the opportunity to participate in the meetings, and not have to be left out of it just because of a medical situation. Also, if we ever had a situation where we had an epidemic again, we already have something in place, showing that could, be taken care of. So both of those were kind of the discussion aspect of it.
Yeah, it was a really good discussion, about, because sometimes things happen.
And that was really the only policy that had considerable
discussion.
And I will add, you know, given technology, like, I mean, I do all my meetings virtually online, but you lose something.
Yes.
They're sitting here.
Yeah, and we discussed
a lot.
That was really the nature of our discussion about like, how far do we go?
Right, and then, I mean, I'll talk about the county board, you know, they are allowed to, you know, do it virtually and they lose something by doing that. And, you know, the contact is just as important just between us, but also the people that come and, you know, attend our meetings, that you don't get that full effect in doing it virtually. The fact that it's extenuating circumstances is a good idea.
I mean, we did discuss all that, and we came to the conclusion that, of course, it's better if everybody is present, but if this would be like for circumstances beyond your control, and you really wanted to participate, but you couldn't. You had surgery on your leg, or one time I had COVID, so it's just for different circumstances. It's not like all the time.
And that's why also we added in that the president would make that decision, because it shouldn't be because we're on vacation.
Right.
You know, or traveling of it, you know, something fun, you know, that's not supposed to be part of it. It's more of an emergency.
Do we need to read in each number?
No.
No, just put in the motion of what volume we're,
Yep.
okay. So do I have a motion, Mandy?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Joni? All right, so we got a motion by Mandy, second by Joni. The motion is for policy updates, volume 33, number 2. Discussion. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Joni.
Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Pass 2-0. All right, and that was it, Mandy?
Yes.
All right, thank you. New business, 6.1, consideration and action on food service increases.
I make a motion to approve the food service increases. I thought that Rosie did a great job of explaining what they are. It makes sense. I also think the even amounts are just a lot easy, like, right? I do not want to fish for change in my purse if I can give you a $5 bill.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion by Mandy, second by Lena. The motion to approve the food service increases. Discussion. I know I just had to, I did the math. I think, well, if my math is correct, and on the little carton of milk, it's like $80 a hundredweight. And the farmer's only getting 20.
The world doesn't work on.
It's like, what in the world?
Not about farming, this is about what the cost of our lunch is at school.
Just had to, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right. Anything else? All right. Seeing none, we will start this vote with Mandy.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes, and it'd be twice as much in Canada.
Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, 6.2, consideration and action on adding middle school coaches to the co-curricular list.
And this is a good problem to have. We have more kids participating in middle school football and middle school cross-country than we've had the last few years. And based on supervision and safety issues, we're recommending, and playing time, particularly for the middle school football program, recommending separating the 7th and 8th grade football teams and adding a couple coaches and adding a paid assistant coach to middle school cross-country. So it's a good problem for us to have.
We need it.
Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Jeff, second by Priscilla. Motion to approve adding middle school coaches to the co-curricular list. Discussion.
We did this last year with volleyball.
Correct.
Did the numbers stay high in
I
volleyball?
believe so. I can't tell you exactly, but I
High
believe
school, yeah.
the middle school
middle
volleyball
school.
and high school. I believe they're still
I'm just
high.
wondering if it was successful in keeping
We're
kids up.
starting the year with 3 again for volleyball, so they know what the numbers are. So, hopefully we continue to, I think it's a smaller incoming ninth grade class than what they had last year, so it'll only be 3 volleyball teams. But it definitely helped to keep girls interested and get playing time.
Right.
About 20 girls trying to play.
Thank you, Kevin.
Anything else? Seeing none, start this vote with Jeff.
Yes.
Laura?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Priscilla?
Yes.
Lena?
Yes.
Joni?
Yes.
Mandy?
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, 6.3, consideration and action on hiring middle school coaches.
So you just approved additional coaching positions, and we're asking you to approve 2 of the 3 people that we'd like to hire. There still will be 1 football coach outstanding.
Move to approve.
Is that Priscilla?
Second.
Motion by Priscilla, second by Lena. To add additional middle school coaches, the coaches are Jim Wolstenholme for middle school assistant football coach and Emma Masalovich and for the cross country. Discussion. Seeing none, let's start this vote with Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 9-0. All right, 6.4, consideration and action on HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, Chapter 4, Adams Friendship.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Priscilla. Second by Mandy. The motion to approve the HOSA, Health Occupation Students of America, Chapter 4, Adams Friendship. Discussion. Seeing none, start this vote with Bobby.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Mandy.
Yes.
Jeff.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
I mean, sorry, Laura.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I said
You
twice.
voted twice.
But I'll vote twice if you want me to.
Yes.
And that passes.
About that. All right, 6.5, consideration and action on the Noble Community Clinics, MOU.
And what we're gonna do tonight is we're gonna ask you to approve this MOU. It's a very consistent MOU that we've had with other organizations in the past, with one caveat. If Noble is charging a facility fee for the individuals that they see in our facility, we'd like to have a conversation with them about recouping some of that money. But we'd like to get this approved because they need to start the process for billing. Crystal, is that, okay? Okay.
And can I add, not just that if they are charging a fee, or if they can charge a fee?
We will find out.
Okay.
I'm confused. Why would they charge a facility fee?
I don't believe they ever.
I want them, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
The method behind my madness is, we do have costs for that facility. A lot of times in the bill.
That we're letting them use?
Yes.
Yeah, so my experience with this, because obviously on my end, I'm the other person, so I'm the County Human Services, not in Adams County. And so these MOUs are required for them to be able to provide school-based services.
Right.
So it's not costing the school anything to do that. Really. I mean, for me, it's like in good faith, do we want these services provided at our facility?
Yes.
Or do we not? It's basically an office space that has the proper postings and verifications so that they can prove that they're meeting their licensure requirements. So I have a problem with that. I will tell you that I like this agreement. This is the agreement that we use with the school districts in the county that I work in, and I like this agreement better than the agreement that we have with Adams County Health and Human Services, because we should not be paying for these services. I realize sometimes they're providing other things, so they say, but this should be a true collaboration where we want our kids and families to receive these services, and we're gonna allow them to come into our facilities because it helps us. So I have an issue with that, and I would not be in agreement with that.
Okay. Okay.
I also don't think that, I also don't think that legally that they will do that. It's not really how it works for licensure, but that, I mean, that's your guys' prerogative.
Are they going to accept money from us to use our facility?
No, they want to come in and provide school-based mental health services at our facility. Part of the licensing is that you have to have a designated private area to meet. So on the clinic end, it's like seeing somebody at one of their facilities. There's certain rules for space requirements that you have to have in order to be licensed to provide individual therapy. So basically, we're offering them a designated office space where they have to have certain storage and postings to be able to be compliant with their license through the state of Wisconsin. Giving them a room to use really doesn't cost us much. The lights are on anyway, and we have a room.
So what is your objection, Jeff?
So here's the problem that I have with that, is then any organization out there that we deem to have a benefit for our students, doesn't matter if it's medical or whatever, should have a free office, so to speak, within our buildings. So if the county wants one, we should offer that. If the city wants one, we should offer.
No, because this is for a very specific person, and it's for a specific licensing statutory requirement. It is not the same.
An organization that makes a profit off the stuff.
They're a federally qualified healthcare center. They are not making a profit off of us.
Okay.
This is something we have done in the past to support our
Right,
students.
and I don't have, I understand, there's a need.
And we allow other providers to come into our school and do it too.
We do. The other thing they also provide to us is the dental and vision screenings, and they would use the same space for the dental and vision screenings as well.
But that's a screening that identifies a student. It's not providing a service per se, a treatment to that student. They're identifying, a deficiency, whatever, and they're not actually getting a certain type of treatment.
Mental health and physical health should be treated the same way, Jeff.
But
they should.
That's the thing, it does, if you don't ask, you don't get it. And at the end of the day, they get reimbursement for utilization.
Because they're billing people's insurance.
Exactly.
We're not paying for it. Do we want them to come in and provide the service or don't we? Charging them rent makes absolutely no sense.
Charge them rent if they, as part of their billing, ask for a fee, and if it is.
That is not how the billing works. The fee is for the service they're providing. It doesn't cover the overhead of the facility that they're using.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you guys ever asked that question of one of your providers? That you can, if you can charge a facility fee for utilization at one of your facilities?
Well, Jeff, you work together in the community, the health, the school. It just provides a more positive working relationship together if you don't charge.
Right. Again, if you don't ask, you don't get it. So if they say no, then it's no. It's that simple.
I'm saying that if we're working in a collaborative relationship to do something that benefits our students and family in the community, whether you can or just because you can doesn't mean you should, Jeff.
The other barrier we continue to face is at some point we did have 7 integrated behavioral health providers coming in, and because they are often traveling here, we've had 0 for the last few years. So this is the first provider we've been able to get here in the last couple of years. They did hire somebody 3 days a week just for our district. That's really, really difficult to get right now. So I would hate to have them say no to us and turn around and go to another
But if
district.
there's zero cost and it's a billing that they handle on our behalf,
They're billing Medicaid and private insurance and having clients pay on a sliding fee scale, so based on their ability to pay. So some clients aren't paying at all if they don't have an ability to pay for the treatment service. There's not a location fee in the treatment service that's allowable by Medicaid.
What other service would want to come into the school and do that?
I have no idea.
And my point is we would have the opportunity to decide that or not.
Right, we would, as a board, discuss that. So right now, we have this agreement upon us that we see a need in our community.
Right.
And it's more of a need that our board sees in our district.
And I don't disagree with that. That is not, I have.
Because the reality is they have a clinic in Friendship already, and this is really about meeting the needs of kids and families. So I don't have to leave my job to then go pick up my kid at school, transport him to the old Rocher Creek Clinic, and then transport him back to school. The kids get to stay in school. If they have no-show rates, it's really a lot better because they can go down and be like, hey, Bobby, where are you? You missed your appointment.
And the other...
I mean, that's what we do in school-based mental health. It's a
concern
win-win.
going on is Adams HHS doesn't have enough therapists to even provide therapy to individuals in our community. They're closing people because there's no therapists. So if we have an opportunity, I don't think we should put up barriers.
I disagree that it's a barrier. You're just asking.
Well, I think we can ask, but I think.
That's all I'm saying.
I think why ask if we don't believe in the spirit of charging them?
That's true.
Because we charge our taxpayers. When you say there's no cost, there's a cost to turn the lights on.
They're on anyway. They're coming during the school day.
And I understand that. But we are getting the benefit, yes, of those services for our students, but there is still a cost. If we can look at every avenue to get some type of revenue, we should. We shouldn't just say, oh, we're doing it, we're doing it. We are here, we have a fiduciary responsibility. We've got a referendum coming up in less than 2 years. And if there is an opportunity, I don't care to earn an extra $5, then we should be looking at those opportunities to earn an extra $5.
If that's what Jeff, $5?
I'm being arbitrary now.
I'm just saying that I think it's wrong.
Okay.
It does not
Well,
give
and
good community.
again, I'm just asking to ask. So that's all I'm asking. I'm not putting up a barrier, not saying that they shouldn't be here. It doesn't hurt to have that conversation and have the ask.
And I would say that, that's a decision of the full board and not just your wish.
Absolutely.
All right, do I have a motion?
I move to approve the MOU with Noble Community Clinic.
And I second it.
A motion by Mandy, second by Laura. Do we want to beat it anymore?
Well, he defined what the caveat was, so is the motion different than what she had outlined?
She made the motion.
I made the motion on this agreement.
Okay.
Any more discussion? All right, we will start this vote with Steve.
Sure.
Priscilla.
Yes.
Lena.
Yes.
Joni.
Yes.
Mandy.
Yes.
Jeff.
No.
Laura.
Yes.
Bobby.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Passes 8-1. All right, with that, we have come to the end of the meeting. Do I have any objection to adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We are adjourned at 8:34.